So pink is definitely my favorite color. So why not? Let's do a pink painting for October's pink paints. So like we were talking about, we started with a white strip. We loaded our paintbrush with a lot of white paint, and then we dipped the very corner of it in a little bit of black. So we started off with a white strip of paint. Then we dipped our brush with a little bit of black, and we continued halfway down until we got the gray, white, and dark gray streaks. Then we loaded our brush up with white paint, a little bit of black in the corner of the brush, and we started making a whole bunch of strips, starting from the line all the way up. Just a lot of trees in the background. This is again gray for the background. The closer we come down, the darker the tree trunks are going to be. We're going to load our brush with water, wipe off a little bit of excess, and we're going to be dipping our brush again in white. And again, the corner we're going to dip in black. And we're going to come down from the line and make strips straight up off the canvas. Let's get a little more black. The further along down the canvas we go, the thicker the tree trunks are going to be. Again, it's your choice on how many tree trunks you want to add. Again, I like to make the tree trunks in the bottom thick and they go thin as I work my way up. The closer down to the canvas I go, the darker the tree trunk is going to be. If your paintbrush gets a little dry, just load up on paint. It just means you don't have enough paint on there. Again, the lower in the canvas I go, the darker the tree trunk is going to be. So less white and more black. I think I'm going to go right down here, make a triangle, and work my way up to the top. And I think I'm going to go across. Let's curve this tree trunk a little bit. And just to give this tree a little pizzazz, I think I'm going to add on the same tree, I'm going to add another branch that's going to come across and connect to it all the way to the top. I'm not sure if it's splitting into a big letter V. And I think I'm going to get a big tree trunk coming out from the side of the painting, going towards the middle of the painting. And I'm going through the side of my brush and connecting across. Again, let your paintbrush flow with the paint all the way up to the top of the canvas. Let's load up a little bit more black and make this trunk a little thicker from the bottom and work our way up. And I'm going to split this trunk and have a branch cutting across the middle, reaching over to the top, all the way up and across. It's like two forces that are trying to connect with one another. Let's bring the same trunk, let's connect another branch and work our way up, all the way up and all the way over to the other side. Now I'm going to use the side of the brush and try to do some vines on the bottom, the roots of the tree connecting. It's called feet, the feet of the trunk. Now I'm going to go to a smaller brush. This is, I think, 1/4 of an inch brush. I'm going to wet this brush, dab the excess water, and go back into the black paint. And I'm going to start vining the branches. Connecting them into the big trunks. Now again, if the video turns off, I will continue reloading it. The battery doesn't shut down on me. Again, I apologize for that. Reloading the brush with black paint. And adding some branches, some baby branches coming off of the bigger branches. Again, it's on how you want to express yourself. And there go squiggly lines. Let's come over here. Squiggle lines. Squiggle lines. Again, if you see white dots, you need to load up your brush with more paint. fill this up. I think I'll get one from the bottom and work my way up into one over here. Have fun with it. It doesn't have to be precise. As long as you're having fun with it, express yourself how you want. Every tree is different. We're all individuals, right? None of us is alike. Trees are the same way. Let's do another branch coming out over here, going across. Again, this is regular student acrylic paint. Let's make another little branch over here. And little ones connecting it. I think I want to put a little bit of some roots back here. Light touches. Just to give it a little bit more detail into it. Blend it in. Okay, I think I like that. Now I think what I'm going to do is add a few more branches on the other side. Let's bring some branches out over here. Connect over. There you go. Some branches connected over here. Like I was talking about earlier, that we should be an inspiration to others, even in the midst of our storm. You know, we go through a lot of things in life and we tend to get caught up in that. And the thing is, we need to learn how to kind of get out of our situations sometimes. And when we can't be afraid to ask for help or advice. And sometimes we hold things in and we don't let anyone know what's going on, and we tend to get bitter, and you don't want to become a bitter person, you know? You have to speak inspiring words to other people and not be bitter at everyone. It's hard when you, let's say for instance, you work at a job and you don't like how they treat you. And it's because that boss is bitter. He's bitter and he doesn't know how to treat other people, or they get caught in a situation where they're so used to working a certain way, they forget that they're working with human beings. They tend to go robotic almost. They treat people like robots and not like human beings. We shouldn't do that. I always say you never look down on anyone, because you never know when your downfall is going to be. It's that saying. How is it they say? Be careful how you treat others, because you might be looking at them on your way down. We need to treat people with love, kindness, and respect. You never know when you're going to need that person. We got to treat people with love and kindness. I mean, didn't God do that for us, you know? We have to be the same way. We have to be the light of hope in others when they're going through things. It's hard, I know. Life is hard. It's not easy. Nobody said life is going to be easy. God never said that if you accept me and I'm going to be in your life. I'm going to help you, is what God said. I'm going to help you go through situations and go through storms. He never said that our lives are going to be perfect and we're never going to have problems or issues. We're never going to face anything. Actually, it's contrary to that. When we seek him, we're going to notice that sometimes we go through situations and it's going to target us. And that's because the enemy doesn't want us to follow God, follow Christ. You know, he is seeking us to destroy us. And God wants us to have a better life, a better living. The enemy doesn't want that for us. And it's true what they say. Sometimes when there's breakthrough around the corner, you're going to be faced with so many battles, so many situations that's going to come across. I'm taking a little bit of white and a dab of red and I'm mixing it to make pink. I'm going to make a few shades of pink. Some light, some medium, and some dark. The more red you add, the darker the pink is going to be. Again, I'm going to dab my brush in red, add some white to make pink. I'm also adding a little bit of blue and red to get purple and some white, but it's going to be a very light white. And the reason I'm adding that color is just to do some shadow. I'm working on mixing these colors up so we can start working on petals. You can see the color. It's almost like a light purple. Washing my brush out really good. Now I'm going to be loading my brush in the pink that I created. See the pink? I'm going to be dabbing small little petals on a tree. So first I need to decide where do I want the petals to be. So let's start here. I'm going to use the side of the brush and start making the petals one at a time. Let's do five petals. And start at another branch, another 5 petals, and work my way from there. Keep loading the brush. Keep working our way to 5 petals. One, two, three, 4, 5. Keep loading the brush. One, two, three, four, five. Keep going. One, two, three, four, five. And we're going to come over here. One, two, three, four, five. Keep loading the brush. Again, we're using a 1/4 inch brush, the flat one, and we're turning the brush sideways, loading it with a lot of paint, turning it sideways, and dabbing to make each petal. One, two, three, four, five. One, two, three, four, five. For those of you that lost your job, I'm sorry to hear that. It will get better. The market has been fluctuating. It's very hard out there. But keep looking. Do your resumes, put your resumes out. Don't give up, you know? Don't give up. Sometimes God will close the door on you because a better one is going to open. And I would say what the enemy takes, God will restore tenfold. Let's get some over here. One, two, three, four, five. One, two, three, four, five. And this is for the men out there. Men also get breast cancer, and a lot of people don't think that that's not true, and it is true. Both men and women need to get checked for breast cancer. It's not just for women. Again, I'm continuing with the petals 5 at a time. Loading the brush constantly. Once in a while, I'll add a little bit of the light pink with the dark pink to get contrasted petals. And you can go over some of the petals. If you don't like the way they turned out, just go over them and correct it. That'll give it more contrast with a little bit of pink on top. Gives it almost a two-tone color. Take your time, have fun, be expressive on how you paint. Now this is the fun part. Once we continue adding all the little petals around, because petals will appear in different places. When it comes to the cherry blossom tree, a lot of times it loses its petals and you get a beautiful floor that looks like a rug. Let's continue with these petals and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Maybe some petals didn't open, so we'll do little buds. So let's just do one little bud here, one little bud there, a few buds just coming in. Now, we're going to load the brush up with the dark pink. Just add a little bit more red. Same brush. See, it's loaded. It's still the pink. I just added a little bit more red to make it darker. And let's do little petals that fell on the floor. We're going to do sideways dabs with the small little brush. So, small dabs. Petals fall on the floor. Some are in the wind falling. Get some of the light pink to give it contrast. Around the tree trunk. Again, load the brush. Again, if my phone dies, I will definitely pause where I left off and I will continue again once it's charged. But I'm going to continue painting. Again with the contrast of the light and dark pink. Sideways dabs. further away, the darker the red it is. And the closer it is to the front, the lighter the pink it is. Just dab in the background, just little contrast on the trees. Use some in the background, little tiny taps. Because of course the ones in the back, the leaves fell off too, the petals. Let's make some more petals on the top. Maybe some has 3 or 4 petals instead of 5. That's 3. Just add a little red for contrast. Just for a little shadow. It's on how you want to make it. Express yourself any way you want. It's all on your fun and how you want to make the petals look. Some dark reds. You can even add white. Maybe some of them is not dark pink. Maybe some decided they want to be a little more white, so add some white. There you go. Give it contrast. There's nothing wrong with contrast of different colors. You don't want to do pink? Make it blue. It's on how you want. You don't want blue? Make it purple. It's your world, it's your painting. You can express yourself how you want to. And some darker reds over here. Let me get some of that purple that I created earlier, and let's add a little bit of little purple petals in the bottom just for shadowing. Just trace the back part of the tree trunk a little bit. Create a little contrast. Just dab some of that purple. Just to give it shades in the back. See how it gives it some shade? A little more purple. Just around the tree trunk and the roots. Just dab your brush sideways. Sideways dabs. A little more of the purple. Just keep dabbing it. And let's grab some of the light pink and go on top. Like little petals fall on top. That's light colored. Let's make more petals up here. I like to have a lot of petals on the top also. Let's grab a little bit more light pink to give it contrast. And a little bit of red to make some low lights. Almost if the petals are floating actually. It doesn't even look like it's touching any of the branches because they're floating across. Just fill it in a little more. Grab some red. Put some red inside the petals. Let's put a little white dots inside in the center. See what happens. Just give a little contrast. Little tiny white dots on the center. Just dab tiny little white spots in the center of the flowers. Just a little bit goes a long way. Gives it a little contrast. I think this one needs a little bit more petals up here. And let's do a little bit of petal dots that fell over here, just to give it balance. balance it out. I think I need maybe a branch, one thin little branch that comes across. Let's see. I'm going to use a long pointy brush, and I'm loading it with the blank paint with a little bit of water so it can run a little bit. And let's see, I think it needs a little more squiggly lines. There you go. I still was trying to reach across. Maybe they want to connect with each other. There's nothing wrong with connecting with each other. There you go. Going right across. Go back to the flat brush, grab some more pink, and let's add some more petals to that little branch we extended. There you go. Grab a little bit of white, and let's add some petals. Attach some petals to those little squiggly lines that we made. There you go. Some red dots in the center this time. Enough petals. There you go. Some has 3 petals, some has 5. And some wants to be white. There you go. There's a little red dot in the center. What you think? Put a few little white dot petals. And I think we're just about done. Some of the whole flowers fell. So let's do some of the whole flowers. Highlights. And I think we're good. Kind of hard for us to put the paintbrush down, right? So when we think we're done and we want to continue. But I think I'm going to leave it there. It's fun. Let's make some highlights on some of these here. Just to give it a little bit of contrast. I think they're a little bit too plain. Some white dots here. It's on how you want to express yourself, right? Okay, I think we're good here. I need to correct the little branch that I have. See this branch right here? I think this needs to be connected more. So let's connect that a little bit more. There you go. Much better. Let's connect that up. There you go. Yeah, that looks a little better. Make sure the branches are connected. Now, we just need to sign it and we're done. See where we're going to add. Okay. Let's sign this. And we are done. Here you go. Ten, 10, 18. All right, I think this is it. I am going to show you from close up and we're done with this broadcast. There you go. Pink blossoms. Black and white background. It's a fun picture. Until next time, have a good one, everyone, and hope you enjoy this one. Take care.